Okay, so first of all, I'm Louise Illingworth. I'm 43 years old. I have 2 children. Well, they're not children anymore, adults. And I've had 4 kidney transplants. I'm now on kidney dialysis. And I'm an actress, a new to the industry, back into the industry actress. I was diagnosed when I was 12 years old. Overnight. I've had it since I was born, but they didn't find out until I was 12. I kept falling asleep at school. I was acting, I was dancing, I was on stage doing my exams. So my mum just thought I was tired. I had a yellowy looking skin. My mum thought that because I'd been away that I'd got a funny looking tan. So she took me to the doctors and they said, oh, she's got jaundice. Anyway, they did a blood test and it came back that I had dialysis, and literally they said, right, ambulance is on the way, you need to be on dialysis, you shouldn't be alive. They said, obviously said that to my parents. And then that night I was on dialysis, so it was all quite quick. I started dancing when I was 2.5, and I've been on stage ever since. So that was my life until I went on dialysis. And then when I went on dialysis, I stopped the dancing due to feeling like I didn't fit in. And so I went into the acting part, so I went to stage school and I started acting that when I was about 14. I started doing that. I had gone from I was a ballerina and nearly teacher level, and I was doing my exams, and I'd gone from being very slim, like a ballerina style, to having, like, I was on dialysis where they put fluid in your stomach, and I had to carry 2 litres of fluid in my stomach. So what happened is I ended up feeling like, 1, bloated, but 2, like I didn't fit in because I wasn't a slim ballerina anymore. It looked like I was pregnant at 13, and I just didn't, because of the body shaming with ballerinas and actresses and things. I didn't feel like I was good enough to be that ballerina anymore. I've got the story. When I was diagnosed, I was actually on the Bradford Alhambra doing the Sunbeams. And they obviously had my reserve doing the show when I was in hospital, but I was adamant when I come out of hospital. They said, you don't have to come back to work, they were paying me, you don't have to come and do it. And I'm like, no, I want to get back on that stage. And literally within 2 days of coming out of hospital, after having a tube put in my stomach, I was on stage dancing, acting and doing my thing. Looking back, I kind of lapped it up a bit because I got a lot of attention, but with sympathy and like, oh, you're brilliant, you did so well. And looking back, I think, well, why did they not recognise me for that before? Why just because I've got this tube in my stomach and I'm on dialysis, why are they giving me all this attention? I started to get poorly. Shortly after I got diagnosed kidney failure, I was actually on dialysis 6 months. And I got my first transplant when I was 13 years old. And so I kind of had a bit of a normal life until I was about, well, not normal life, because obviously you need to go to the hospital, get checked up, and it's not a cure of a kidney transplant. So you're always classed as disabled. So I lived a normal life, and then suddenly that started failing. I started getting poorly, and rehearsal schedules and filming schedules were just not adaptable for people that are disabled, and for other disabled people there's not enough access and enough flexibility for me to be able to do that. So I had to stop. And as well, I felt embarrassed again by the way I was looking. I had what you call a moon face because I was on a lot of steroids. So again, it was all down to body image and how we displayed. There's not enough disabled actors. It's getting better, and you are becoming to see more and more disabled actors on the stage and TV. However, I think it's only 7% of actors are actually working in the industry, and certainly not like production crew as well. So there's definitely not enough representation, and if there is, it's not represented correctly. In a sense of representing disabled people and how they're portrayed, They're always either put down as an evil character, or they're portrayed for their illness, not for their actual their being, which is what I get in life a lot, which is one of the reasons I went back into acting. People see you for that disability, they don't see you for what you can do. It was always Louise, the person with kidney transplant, Louise on dialysis, and I wanted to do something for me and be recognised for me. And I think I'm speaking on behalf of a lot of disabled people, and people like the representation in television need to do that. They need to give disabled characters a storyline, a good storyline. My arm, and I've got a stoma bag, so that worries me as well for if ever I needed to do any scenes where I was in a bikini or whatever, and obviously my arm, it's quite bumpy, so I always get looked at as if I'm on some kind of drugs or something like that, because it looks like I have to inject myself. It don't look nice. I get that writers need to have a storyline, but I think they should look into things a little bit more and do the research a little bit more before they write these characters in. It can be damaging to you as a person, because as we know, it's not just disabled people, but if you're any character on TV, people believe it's real. So it makes people not respect the disabled artist. For instance, if you're representing their illness incorrectly, then that person might then in public be like, well, why are you like this? What's up with you? You know, you're all right. On TV, they don't do that. I think there needs more flexibility, and I think this is generally as well, the whole needing to look perfect on film needs to stop. I think you need to get more disabled actors on television and stop getting able-bodied people to play disabled parts. I always say disabled people are not disabled, and I hate the word disabled. It's less abled. We are less able than anybody else, which means we need more flexibility. There needs to be more flexibility on set, there needs to be more flexibility on stage for rehearsal schedules and for filming schedules. And just people acknowledging illnesses and what it is, so that when a disabled person is on the set, they're aware of that situation, so they can support that person. There's no reason why that person can't do what an able person can do with things set in place. Maybe a carer, or somebody to help them get ready, or just little things. Maybe like for me, for instance, I might get tired, letting me have a bit of a rest break. But there's not that flexibility at all. There needs to be more acting schools for disabled people, so that there's more coming into the industry, and people need to be inspired and know that they can do it. But there's not enough people in the industry pushing disabled people to do it, so they just accept the life and say what it is. Well, I'm disabled, I can't do it. Well, you can do it. Performance is important to me, and I hope that it sends the message out there, is people need to see, they need educating on disabilities and invisible illnesses. I have mentioned invisible illnesses, but mine's an invisible illness. People might look at me and say, well, you're not disabled. Well, I am classed as disabled, but I don't look it apart from my arm. I want to basically inspire people and put the message out there and educate people around invisible illness and kidney failure and organ donation. And I think there should be more disabled people that are well enough to do that, putting it out there for their own illnesses, so that people are educated and know exactly what we go through. And then it can be accepted on television, and writers will know what to write, because at the end of the day, it's the writers that are writing these things, so they need to be educated. Well, I want to succeed, but succeed to me isn't being like famous and like a big star. Success to me is just gaining one job, just doing acting, being on set, doing filming, because it's what I love. I went back to it when I was 40 to do a degree, and I just felt it's in me. I only went back into it as a hobby, and the minute I started doing it, it's in me. I've done it since I was 2.5. It's what I'm meant to do. So for me as an actress, success to me is just being on set, just doing what I love the most. And it would, if I were to get a big part, then brilliant. Whether the film industry can, or the TV industry can be flexible for enough for that, I don't know. But yeah, just getting success and inspiring others. I want to inspire others that they can do it. You know, like there's so many people in my situation that just put their head down, and I can understand why they do, because it's tiring, it's exhausting. You know, I look okay today, but I've had to sleep all morning to be here, and you know, like people don't see that side of it, but you can do it as long as you just push, like believe in yourself. Give disabled artists a chance.